Trust me. You've put in too much information already. But it's supposed to be the most difficult speech, but it is the most rewarding because you get to finish your first book. So without further ado, Amanda, please come forward.
Today at work, while I was eating my lunch, trying to eat my lunch, I overheard a conversation, sounded like a heated conversation, right next door to me. And I recognized the voice. It was actually an old team lead of mine. And she is very vocal and very opinionated. And it just so happened to be that she was having this discussion with a certain master sergeant in the squadron who is also very vocal and very opinionated. And so I just decided to take my lunch and relocate into the room where they were talking. They had an audience. They were so into what they were talking about. Pretty much half the squadron was in there just listening to them. So I just sat down in the chair, finished eating my lunch, and was observing what they were discussing. No surprise to mine, they were discussing something about when word came out that Obama was running for president. Did anyone have a first reaction of, oh, he must be black? Well, one side of the conversation says, nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that when they hear a certain person's name or when they are reading who the next CEO is at a large company, nobody thinks, oh, I wonder if that person is black. Well, the other side of the conversation, who is a female, says completely opposite. She says that nothing has to do with race. In light of this week's theme, which is colors, I decided to take it in a different direction. And I'm not going to discuss all of the 64 colors in the crayon box. When I hear the word colors, it makes me think of people because we're all different colors. And some people tend to notice that more than others. If they didn't, then we wouldn't have racism. But we do. So the master sergeant in our squadron, he is black. And he is very, very strong in his point of view as far as if two people were accused of committing the same crime, one of them happened to be a white male and the other one happened to be a black male, hands down, he says the black guy is going to get a harsher punishment, period. And that is just his view. So in listening to their conversation and their points and their hypotheticals and what if this situation and oh, I watched a show and it says what do you do and it gives you situations where they staged someone stealing a bike. The first person they staged was a female. 10 people walked by, 3 people actually helped her steal the bike. So then they put a black guy in the same situation, same scenario, and he's trying to steal this bike, and the first person that walks up says, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I see how both of them have valid points, and this is why. A lot of times we create our views and our stance on positions when it comes to touchy subjects because of our own experiences. Even though the female tech sergeant claims that her father is extremely racist, and I don't doubt that at all, she is not. But the black master sergeant says, I have been discriminated against, and has examples. So that is his experience when he gives the reasons why he tells his 5-year-old not to, do certain things and take extra precautions that maybe other parents or other families wouldn't even think to tell their children. So I think that even though it was it kind of became a sticky situation at times because they got loud. I mean, they are, this is what I see and this is the way I see it and you're not making sense and where do you get that from? And they're very argumentative. And when they have a certain view about something, they let everyone know. They're not wavered. And I think that's a testament to all of us. Because sometimes when we're in a room with different people, we tend to lean towards their view because we don't want to make waves. And then maybe sometimes we're in another location with a different set of people and we lean towards the way that they see things. But regardless of how you process things or how you see things, especially when it comes to the colors of people, we have to take that position and have that same position no matter what situation that we're in. Because if you don't, then you're easily wavered. And my mom used to have this saying, and she would say, oh, they just blow with the wind. And that just means that wherever you're around and whatever situation that you're in, you're going to side with those people because it's easier, it's more comfortable. So I would just challenge everybody and inspire you to rethink your personal views on things, analyze them. Just because you had a certain view long time ago, 15, 20 years ago, that doesn't mean that your view has to be the same right now. We're supposed to grow, and we're supposed to have increased situational awareness, and we're supposed to have more knowledge and education as we get older. And those things can define or redefine your views in life, regardless of what it is. The next thing that I'll point out as a female, a young female, is sometimes we have the same, I don't want to say issue, but we tend to say, well, if I was a guy, I would have got that position. If I was a guy, then so-and-so over here wouldn't mess with me when I'm at the bar. I think that to a point, we have to be careful with using those comments and saying those things because that can be used as a crutch, an excuse for us not to do things the way that we should and pursue our own goals and objectives. Doesn't matter what so-and-so did over here and they may have a different advantage than you or even possibly a disadvantage. But I think that we have to be careful and make sure that when we're analyzing certain subjects, especially the ones that are the bigger topics of today, and we just finished the Trayvon Martin story about a month ago, and that's still a hot topic. That hasn't gone away, and I don't think that it will. And it probably shouldn't, because it's things that we need to assess in our own lives and make sure that we are taking a stance, taking a position, and that it's on a foundation that is based upon reality and personable to us. So, I'll leave you with this. When I think about colors, like I said, I don't think about the colors of the rainbow, and I don't think about the colors in the crayon box. I think about the colors of us. And I think that we need to focus more on not seeing those and just seeing people for who they truly are.